Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Lennon, your professor. Okay, quick announcements for you. First off, hello, everyone. I would have emailed you with a video last week as I normally do, but I got back from a long trip. I had this real shaggy beard. My razor was all messed up. I looked terrible, so I was like, forget it. I'm waiting until I can be nice, clean shaven and do this for you. So that's what I'm doing. All right. We're on week 2 now. Nice to meet all of you. I know many of you. It's terrific. You all have very cute pets. And here on week 2, we have the continued reading of our chapter 2, but also we have our first of our discussion questions, numbers 1 and 2. All right. Now, I wanted to review with you the how you're going to be graded on these things. And I mentioned I use a rubric. Now, it says case study rubric here, all right? Well, that's just, I use this for all my writing assignments, so don't be freaked out that it says case study, all right? But I want to show you what it looks like, and here you can see it. Basically, how it works is it's a check, check plus, check minus across 4 criteria, or criterion, if you must know, all right? First, here's what I'm looking for. Relevance of response, clarity of expression and logical reasoning, use of citations, and we're going to talk about more about that in a minute, especially for those of you who have not had me before, and finally spelling and grammar. So, when I'm reading your submissions, what I will do is I will grade you, good to excellent to poor on on these 4 different areas. Relevance of response. I mean, if you write, if I ask, what color is the sky, and you start telling me all about the ocean, I'd be like, okay, I will give you a 0. All right. If you tell me something that's relevant, fantastic. Then I can give you 25 points. I love to give good points. This is a keen one. Clarity of expression and logical reasoning. Please think through your answers and write them, okay? Sometimes students will ask me, well, how long should they be? Well, long enough to cover, but short enough to be interesting, as they say. And we're looking at least a paragraph for each of these questions, okay? Don't give me a sentence or 2. You cannot fully answer these questions in a sentence or 2, all right? Spelling and grammar, well, that's self-evident. Please spell and grammar check accordingly, all right? And finally, use of citations. Now, what am I talking about with use of citations? All right, well, let's turn back to your section here. I have a little bit more information here for you. You should be, okay. This week, you also have your first set of textbook discussion questions. I'm now back on week 2 under content, okay? For full points, you are required to give at least 3 external citations, meaning not from the textbook, okay? To support your answers, I use the same citation format in all my classes. Attached is a PDF file, which we'll look at in a moment, from a student submission in another class that shows the correct way to do citations. While it is helpful to first type your answer in a word processor, please copy-paste your completed answers into the threaded discussions. Remember, do not attach a separate file. If you attach a file, I will give you a 0. I'm very strict about this. Why? Because I have students who, shall we say, intentionally, yes, it's the summer, so I'll be honest, give me a file that's corrupt because they don't want to actually do the work and think this is going to buy them time. No, it buys annoyance. Don't do this to a professor. We were students once too. We know the tricks. You're in college, people. Give us a break, all right? So no, just do what I ask. Write it in a word processor first, save it locally, and then copy and paste it into the D2L. Why? D2L crashes. There's nothing worse than typing a long thing in D2L for it to freeze up on you. So save it. And in addition, when you go to do other assignments, you'll have a nice record of it. When you go to study for your exams, you'll have a nice reference point. You're basically creating a study guide, believe it or not, if you do this. So now here's the key point. Key points to keep in mind, rather. For full points, you need at least 3, count them, 3 citations. Citing the textbook does not, I repeat, does not count as one of these citations. Merely listing your sources at the end is not helpful. If you give a web address, I want the full address as well as the date you accessed it. Why? Websites change, but if you give me something the date accessed, I can always find it back in the Wayback Machine. That's a website dedicated to keeping archiving portions of the web. While content on the web changes, by showing the date, I can find the articles as needed. Finally, and this is very important, never, ever, ever use Wikipedia as a source. I will give you a 0 on the assignment. Why? Anyone can edit a Wikipedia article. All right? So now you're still wondering, well, how do you do these citations exactly? Click on Citation Sample Format. This will answer it for you. Okay, this is from an actual student submission. It was very good, very well done. I got the student's permission to show this, and you know, it's quite done. It's like, question. Here's what I first want you to do. I want you to copy and paste the questions themselves, put them in bold. So this was like an assignment about a Curry case, okay, and from the Economist. It was a neat article. How would you, from an international business class, how would you characterize this case in terms of globalization? All right. So they said, globalization is a process of interaction amongst peoples, governments of different nations. And then you see the 1 in parentheses. Scroll down all the way to the bottom. 1, more, Malcolm, Great British Curry Crisis, Financial Times. Okay, shows you here. All right. 2. However, has a big problem, and then they put a 2 here. Back down here. What is globalization? They gave me, you know, what is globalization? They gave me the access date, and then they gave me the URL. Okay? Kept going. Question number 2. What are the critical factors influenced? Now, here's the significance. See, now, here's the third, even though it's the second question, this is the third citation, so they're giving me 3 here. Get it, people? You go down to the bottom, 3. Kimberton Foods, our story, an access date. Here's the thing, right? And then, okay. Third question. Do you think this industry will continue to change, and if so, how? And they say, and they mention as losing companies to others such as this Uber, 4, and 4. The social cost of Ubers. The point about the case was that a lot of people don't want to do curry restaurants traditionally anymore in Great Britain. So why? Because they can make more money as Uber drivers. All right, so they put it there, Ubers, and it's very well done. You can see it's straightforward, and you can see again going back to question of length. Each question, at least 1 solid paragraph of like basically anywhere from 4 to 6 sentences. All right. Okay, guys, this is your first one. Go for it. You will do well, I am sure. Just follow these simple rules of mine. Now, if you have any questions at all, what do I want you to do? Email me. All right, people. Thanks so much. Bye.